Hi guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to prevent your clay from rippling on your pasta machine on the thinner settings. So what you're going to need for this project is 2 pieces of plastic sheeting, and I'm using this one. Now you can of course use greaseproof paper, Teflon sheets, or just plain printing paper. That will also work, but I find that these plastic sheets work best. So I'm just going to explain a bit more about the plastic sheets. So there's a shiny side and there's a matte side. You want your clay to be sandwiched between the 2 shiny sides. If it's sandwiched between the 2 matte sides, you're going to run into problems. So if you are using plastic sheeting, I recommend using the shiny side, as you'll find that it's a lot easier to use. Now with the paper, it doesn't really matter which side you use it on. The same with the Teflon and the greaseproof paper. So I'm going to be using black, and all you'll do is, this has been rolled through on my thickest setting. You'll just sandwich it between the 2 pieces of paper. Now you don't want it to be so that you've smoothed it over so that it's stuck between those 2 Teflon sheets. You don't want it like that. You want it to be so that it's just sitting between those 2 Teflon sheets. You want it to be free. You don't want it to be stuck next to a Teflon sheet, because as you roll it through your pasta machine, you're going to find that your clay is going to expand as you go down to the thinner settings. But the Teflon paper, greaseproof paper, whatever you might be using, doesn't expand. So the clay needs to be separate from the sheets. So you'll just start rolling like that, and then with each roll you want to position it so that it goes between your rollers again, and then you want to pull the clay away from the Teflon, just like that, so that it's free again. Then you go down a few more settings. That was on my 6th setting. Now I'm going down to my number 4, and you'll just roll it through again like that. And so you'll find that it sometimes curls like this as it goes through. That is something that I've just found that it does. And again, you'll peel it away, and as you go to thinner settings, it's going to get harder to peel it away. So just be careful when you're doing that, because you can rip it sometimes. And now I'm going to go down to my number 1 setting, and I'll roll it through again. And now because I'm going down to such a thin setting, I'm going to have to hold this while I'm rolling through, because otherwise it's going to get caught on the Teflon and cause problems. So I'll roll it through like that. And now here's where you run into some problems. Sometimes your clay is going to come out of the material that you're using to prevent it from rippling, and if any of it does come out, like here, this part's going to be susceptible to rippling. So the best way to prevent that would be to take 2 more Teflon sheets and sandwich them over here and carry on rolling through. That would be the best way to prevent it. So carry on rolling that through, and luckily this didn't ripple, but it will sometimes ripple as you go through. So you'll just peel this off, and that, is what it looks like. So just take the end. This can be a little delicate, but okay, so I'm going to bring you over to a tile to show you what I do to lift this off. Okay, so here's the sheet, and now I'm going to show you what I like to do to get it off. So I'm going to take my firm tissue blade. This is not the flexible one, and I like to just slide it under the sheet, and very slowly with a sawing motion saw the piece off of the plastic. Now you want to go slow with this, but that's how I like to get it off the piece. And now this is very thin, so you're going to sometimes get rips. Now this was where it, there. So you can see that we have a rip over here, but that was where the sheet joined, so it's a weak area, but that's basically the piece that was inside the sheet. So there's a slight rip over here. All you can do is just go over with your finger and smooth it over. And just smooth down your sheet so that it's ready for use. Then just shimmy it up off of your tile. And so that's what it looks like. It could do with a bit of smoothing once you've popped it onto your clay or you've used it, but that's how you do it without rippling. So I'm going to bring you over to the pasta machine to show you what it looks like if you don't use the sheets. So here we are back at the pasta machine, and now we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're not going to use any sheeting. So I'm going to run that through. That's fine. Take it down to my number 4 setting. Run it through again. See, that one's okay. It's got a few streaks, but that's pretty usable. Now I'm going to take it down to my number 1. I'm going through the exact same process that I did with the plastic sheets. And now I'm going to run it through. And now sometimes when your clay is cold, you can get away with it on the thinnest setting. And this is what happened with this one. This one's very cold. But let's see what happens if I run it through a few more times. See, it rippled because it's getting warmer. Now I'll run it through and see what happens again. And now it's getting worse. So this is what's going to happen. You can take a chance and try and run it through while it's cold. So I'll just bring this back up to my number 4 setting. And I'll run it through on my number 1 again and see if it doesn't ripple. Now see, because it's warmer, it's going to ripple. So you can take a chance with the pasta machine while your clay is cold, but you're going to be running a risk. So personally, I find that Teflon technique works really well, because this is like paper thin, and so now you can use this you could use this with translucents to pop this over some of your effects to prevent them from smudging. You could use it with your Skinner blends when you're trying to lengthen them for the bullseye canes, the Skinner blend bullseye canes. So this is a very valuable thing that I've found, and I'm sure that you guys will find it helpful. If you do find it helpful, please do comment below. And so that's my trick on preventing your clay from rippling. And another bonus is that when you're using the sheets, whether it's Teflon paper, greaseproof paper or plastic, when you're running it through, it's protecting your clay from getting any of those hijackers. The blades at the bottom of your machine sometimes have waste clay from your previous projects, and while you're running your clay through, sometimes some of that clay can get onto your clay. So let's say you were using white clay and you had just run through some black clay, you could get some black specks on your white clay. So if you wanted to keep your clay clean, you could also use that technique while you're conditioning it. So that's another added bonus to this technique. And so I do hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, please do check the links below, as there'll be links to more tutorials like this one. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do check the links below, as there'll be a link to my website jessymatutorials.com, where I have articles and places where you can send in pictures of the creations that you've made using my tutorials, and I look forward to seeing you there. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.